Basketball Shoes is the final tracks on Ants from Up There, and it's the moment where Black Country New Roads stop hinting at emotional collapse and finally let it unravel in full. At almost 13 minutes, the song doesn't behave like a typical closer. It unfolds slowly, almost theatrically, letting Isaac Wood walk us through the most vulnerable corners of his mind before everything detonates in that chaotic, overwhelming finale. As always, I'm Tristan, and this is Black Country New Roads Basketball Shoes. The song opens up with one of the most vivid lines on the entire album. Concord, which appears multiple times across the album, has always symbolized something unreachable, something fast, grand, and completely out of his control. But in this track, it flies directly into his room, tearing apart the one place that should feel private and safe. It's like an intrusive thought crashing through the walls of his life. He then follows it up with the following lines. The image of stick insects is awkward, fragile, almost laughably delicate. It captures the insecurities that run throughout the entire song, the feeling of being flimsy in a world that demands sturdiness. Then we get one of the most emotionally devastating early lines in the song. It's not poetic in a conventional sense. It's casual, almost offhand, but that makes it feel more honest. He's describing miniature emotional deaths every time he faces his logging or rejection. As the verse develops, the focus shifts from a surreal, large-scale imagery to a small, mundane detail. These lines show a narrator who's trying to hold himself together, celebrating tiny victories such as eating normally or traveling without spiraling out. A patched-up sense of stability, even though underneath it all, he's still incredibly fragile. The next moment cuts deep. It's about the fear of outgrowing people, or worse, being judged for trying to grow at all. The band captures this fear musically, keeping the arrangement restrained, almost hesitant. Then Isaac brings it back in something painfully human. It's the awkwardness of trying something new when you're not comfortable in your own skin yet. He's trying to move forward, but he's dragging all these insecurities along with him. The verse ends with one of the song's most haunting domestic moments. It's quiet, nostalgic, and strangely peaceful. For a brief second, the chaos of the song goes still, like time stops inside this tiny, ordinary memory. It's one of the few moments of comfort he allows himself before everything becomes complicated again. After the instrumental break, which gives the song space to breathe and hits at an emotional storm building from beneath, Isaac returns. This is where the song shifts from insecurity into yearning. These lines are more intimate, more direct. He's describing a closeness that feels overwhelming, a closeness he desperately wants but can't fully hold on to. Comparing someone to boyfriend jeans is oddly domestic, almost comforting, but the word drown complicates that comfort. It's desire mixed with self-assurance. Then one of the most revealing lines appears. This contrast says everything. He is the conversation, structured, intentional, and conscious. They are the weather, unpredictable, powerful, and impossible to control. He's small and they're vast. He's trying, but they're drifting. The next line is awkward and stumbling on purpose. A cracked smile suggests forced happiness, trying to seem okay when he's anything but. The clamp imagery makes it sound like that expression is painful to hold, like his own face betrays how uncomfortable he really is. When this 4-line sequence repeats, unchanged, it doesn't feel lazy, it feels like obsession. There are thoughts that are looping through over and over inside his head, because he can't find a way out of them. The repetition becomes claustrophobic. The lengthy interlude gives the band space to shift the emotional energy. It starts almost tenderly, then gradually swells into something heavier, signaling the start of a breakdown. There are moments in this stretch where the music sounds like it's holding its breath, and others where it feels like it's trembling. You can sense the third section coming before it even begins. Then the final section arrives, and it's an emotional eruption. These lines are raw in a way that's almost unforgettable. Bedsheets now wet isn't dressed up or softened. It's messy, intimate, and painfully honest. Charlie is a reoccurring figure in BCNR's music. and here she represents a love that he can't move past, no matter how hard he tries. These lines feel like him admitting that he's become nothing more than background noise in someone else's life, a drone, a repeating note that supports the main melody without ever becoming it. Then the brutal line that breaks the entire song opens. This is one of the most devastating metaphors on the album. The love he received wasn't free, it came with an emotional cost, debt that he could never repay. The idea of crippling interest suggests that the longer the love existed, the more it hurt him. All of these lines repeat again and again, not because the band need to fill time, but because that's how intrusive thoughts work. You don't think them once, you think them until you're sick from them. As these lines continue to loop, the band behind him grows louder, more chaotic, more desperate. It's like every instrument is trying to express something Isaac's voice can't hold on to anymore. The guitars distort, the drums pound, the violin strains. It becomes overwhelming in the best possible way, a musical representation of emotional collapse. The ending doesn't resolve anything. It doesn't calm down, it doesn't give closure, it just simply stops, leaving you suspended in the emotional wreckage the song created. It's not a clean conclusion, it's the sound of a feeling that won't let him rest. And that really is the magic of Basketball Shoes. It's not the kind of song that wraps itself up neatly or tries to teach you a lesson. It sits in all the meaningless, the longing and the jealousy, the quiet moments and the chaotic moments, and lets them all exist without pretending they're anything other than what they really are. Basketball Shoes doesn't end a story, it spills over. And that leftover ache is exactly what makes it one of the most powerful closes of the past decade, leaving you stuck in the same emotional space the narrator can't escape. It's a finale that doesn't feel final at all, and maybe that's why it stays with you long after the final note fades.